Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Should I leave these hanging? I don't know if I want to leave these hanging though. Oh man. Okay, these gloves are not helping. Hey guys, so today we're gonna be training this Strawberry Hill Rose. Now, as you can see, it got a little wild on us, and I took my time to get an obelisk on this guy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna train this into an obelisk. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull some of this stuff back, try to get the obelisk on there, and just wrap as much as I can around the obelisk to promote some more lateral growth. But as you can see, because it's leaning already, it has a lot of lateral growth. There's buds all over the place. Now, this is an awkward angle that I have the cameras in, and I apologize for that, but I'm trying to give you guys the best view that I can from the rose. At the end of this video, we'll go ahead and show you what the actual buds and the rosettes look like on this rose, because it absolutely looks beautiful. As you can see, it has plenty of blooms already, but I want to train this guy up to give it that effect that we want here in the front. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna go ahead and train it up. Try not to make this too long for the video, but just show what's happening on the video so you guys can see what's going on as far as putting that obelisk in there. All right, so real quick before I get ahead of myself, here's my obelisk. This is a 6-foot obelisk that I'm gonna put in here, and I'm pretty much gonna put some of the growth inside, but most of it's gonna be on the outside, so I can go ahead and train it up around the outside of it to give it that look of a column rose here up in the front. All right, so what I've already done is I've pushed some of this growth to the back that I want. Then I have a lot of these center stems right here. And I'm just gonna try my best to grab with my hands. Some of these I'm gonna leave here because I want these on the outside to wrap around the outside to give it a nice wraparound effect to it. As you can see, there's some that are super long. Look at that right there. Those are reaching almost all the way out to that camera there. But just looks beautiful, but I don't wanna have too much on the inside because I don't wanna deprive it from any wind circulation as well. So I think I'm just gonna grab this bunch right here, and then the rest can wrap around it. So what I wanna do is get this the best I can to go over these stems right here without really breaking anything, because that's the last thing I want to do. And it's like playing with the jigsaw puzzle here to get this guy in here. Again, trying not to break anything or damage anything really, because these buds and blooms are absolutely looking beautiful already. And yep, it's just gonna be a game of trying to get this guy to stay right in the center there. And these down here as well, so I don't break them. All right, something's keeping me from pushing it down. Just trying to find where and what it is without damaging it. Okay, and I think I see it there. Trying not to get bit because this one likes to bite. And there, got me right there on the shoulder. Just trying to get it into this this container the best that I can without damaging it. All right, so that was a little bit of a struggle, but I think we managed. Just look at that rosette right there. Absolutely looks and smells beautiful. But now that we got this trellis in here, now the trick is gonna be to find a pliable spot on these stems right here to go ahead and tie them up just like that. As you can see, it's pretty pliable right there, so I'll be able to tie it up nice and sturdy and then just kind of wrap it around so these buds just bloom everywhere. Now I have this thicker cane over here that I'm gonna have to maneuver around the whole thing because this is a long one here. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some twine to get the rose tied up to the obelisk. And I'm just gonna go around and grab the ones that are smaller because those are gonna be the easiest to tie on here without, you know, really causing any damage or breaking anything. Okay, now what I don't wanna do is I don't wanna tie it too tight because I don't wanna restrict the canes from expanding any more than what they need to. That way it puts more energy into the rest of the cane and the buds. They're gonna come out from that cane right there. All right, so not to make this video any longer, I'm just gonna explain the process real quick. All I'm doing is I'm grabbing these canes. They have buds already coming out, and the most pliable ones first to tie to the obelisk. That way it produces more buds on it What I also want to do is be very careful with the thicker canes because I don't want to snap any of them. Now the ones on the inside I'm not going to tie up because it's pretty much going to be held and contained by the Obelisk here. But I'm going to do all the pliable ones first, all the smaller ones, and then I'll go around and do the rest of them, the thicker ones, and give it that wraparound effect. But again, I'll go ahead and speed up this process so it doesn't make it any longer than what it needs to be here. All right, so as I'm getting done right here, you can see this is the biggest cane we have. This is the one that was up along the wall here. What I'm doing is I'm doing this one completely lateral because the top's gonna be a bit bare, and I wanted to start shooting lateral shoots up to that. So that way it produces a lot more blooms, but as you can see, it was already lateral. What these will start to do is they'll start to curve up towards the sun, but along the main cane right there, they'll start shooting a lot more growth from there and produce more buds over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tie it right about there. But I want it as lateral as I can. So I'm gonna tie this spot first and I'm gonna go over this way and tie that one there. All right, so we are absolutely done with this this rose here, and it's looking beautiful. Angie's been watching it from down there, and she absolutely loves the way it looks. Looks a little bit bare up here, but that's because I turned a lot of the canes lateral, so they start putting on some more growth to fill out these areas right here. But I think it's gonna look beautiful. Angie has been down there taking photo after photo after photo, so you'll be seeing some of that on Instagram and Facebook if you are following us there. But I'm loving this rose. It's a beautiful rose. It gets to about 10 feet tall. And the main thing about Strawberry Hill, it loves sun. She absolutely loves sun. When I say she loves sun, this is in the front of the house where the sun absolutely blasts here. And as you can see, all the growth, all the buds, all the rosettes, she loves the sun. So it's a good sun-loving rose. Again, she grows about 10 feet tall. That cane that I just wrapped around here was probably about 8 to 9 feet. It maybe looks 10 because it's in a container, but it's absolutely getting there. She's growing to that size. Another thing I love about Strawberry Hill is the size of the bloom. Now the bloom is a mid-sized bloom, a beautiful pink. It absolutely looks amazing. And the scent of this rose is of myrrh and heather honey. And it has a strong scent, but when it first started growing, it had that scent, but now that it's grown this big, some of these blooms, like the whole time I'm right here training it to the Obelisk, it just absolutely smells wonderful. Now, myrrh is a scent that I am used to, Angie's used to. That's something that she has grown up with as far as, you know, in our culture, using myrrh and frankincense together to purify the air. And that's something that's absolutely amazing when you come out this front door and you just get that whiff of the rose here. It just calms you down. It gets you ready for the day. And I just love it. It's an absolutely beautiful scent, and just don't get tired of it. Now this scent right here, when I say it's strong, it carries. The neighbors say they can smell it. We can smell it around the side of the house. It's a beautiful scented rose, and I absolutely love it. So that smell is absolutely wonderful. And alongside of here is we have a lilac that's actually blooming. Now we have no control over this lilac because it gets pruned back by the landscapers. But last year it didn't bloom. This year it's blooming, and the combination of smells absolutely smells wonderful. Wish you guys can smell it. Now, speaking of the rest of the pros that I've given about this rose, I've given you plenty of them. There's a few more left that I love about this rose is the foliage. The foliage is absolutely wonderful. No black spot on it. And the awesome thing about this rose is it kept most of its foliage through winter. It was amazing how much foliage it actually kept through winter. Anything that was looking pretty bad, it pretty much dropped it off, and it started emerging with new growth. So you could barely even tell that there was anything missing from this rose as far as the foliage goes. Okay, so Strawberry Hill is actually on its second year from bare root. I say second year, but it's really the first year of real growth, because when we did plant it in, it was almost, summer was hitting here, so it wasn't getting enough growth at that time, but it definitely put on plenty of growth come fall. And this year is probably the first full year where it's actually making all this this growth and blooms and buds. And another thing again is just the way it blooms. It blooms in clusters. A lot of them die back, and then you still have a bloom there. So it's the cluster effect is pretty nice on this rose, because you lose one but you still have some there, so it never really looks bare. And again, throughout the rest of this year, we'll show you guys what it's looking like through the whole year, because I see this girl just blooming all summer and being a repeat bloomer, losing some, gaining some. The main thing that we're gonna be having to do out here is pruning it, so we can promote more growth, and fertilizing it really, really well. Now, again, those are all the pros to this rose, and I want to throw some cons out there, but there's really no cons to throw out there, because you know, it absolutely does well. I guess I would say the only con there is that she's a wild one. She grows pretty wild, but it's not something to be upset about, because again, we put in this obelisk. It's growing absolutely beautiful. We have some of the growth falling out in the bottom here. We have some growing up the top. And the wildness is absolutely okay in a rose, especially for one of this magnitude that grows about 10 feet tall, because you're gonna have blooms and clusters everywhere. Without an obelisk, without a trellis or anything like that, then yes, you will have to train it up to make it look nice and uniform. But I mean, there's really no cons. It's absolutely a beautiful rose, one that we absolutely love, and we're enjoying out here in the front, because again, the fragrance and the way the blooms look, it's just absolutely one of those roses that I highly recommend you getting if you want an obelisk rose or a rose that's on a trellis. Okay guys, so that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, because roses are something that we absolutely love around here. We love growing, and it's just something we absolutely love to share. If you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, you'll see plenty of rose photos, because it's just something to be amazed by when you take these photos and just seeing the cups and the way they look when they fade, they first bloom, even the buds. All that is absolutely beautiful. But again, that's gonna do it for video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you continue to follow us along with what we have going on. We'll be doing a rose tour soon, so you guys can see every rose that we have in this garden. But that's gonna do it, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next video.